You want to put me in the green room and like,
Hey, what's up? Can you guys hear me pretty good? Someone give me a thumbs up in the chat, or just let me know in the chat if you can. Yeah? No? Yeah, let me just put a comment in here. Okay. See, it sounds like you're saying the sound is good. Um. All right. So Tar Heel. If you can hear me, we were sorry we're late too. We were having some trouble getting everything set up. Um. But I think Tar Heel still can't hear me, so I'm going to try to figure something out. Um, Tario, can you hear me? All right, let me see if I can figure this out. Sorry, guys. All right. So Tar Heel's on, but I guess he's having some trouble where he could like hear me, but he can't hear. We could hear him, but we can't. He can't hear me. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I wanted to get the stream started because I know it's been a while. It's been kind of weird getting the we were trying to get it to sync up today. Um, anyways, thank you everybody for joining. I'm gonna turn my let me just text message him real quick. I know he's in. Um, all right, so it's Tuesday, July 20th. Looked like stocks were starting to move up in pre-market, and now everything's kind of coming back down to earth. Let's see here. So I got CLOV, GME. Let me switch this over. DraftKings looks like it's up again, and I'm gonna go back to the S&P 500 real quick because it did look like after the negative day yesterday, it's starting to rise again today, up about 0.3%, actually kind of flat. But during this time, you see how it started to come down here from about 5:30 on. We started to see GameStop kind of fall, Clove kind of fall. So it looked like maybe the early pump we were getting in these stocks, and then some of the other stuff I was looking at in my watch list, everything was kind of rising a little bit in pre-market, and then during this time that the SPY started pulling back down, everything started falling down with it. So something we'll keep an eye on. I mean, yesterday we saw kind of the opposite. The SPY gap down in pre-market with everything else, and then the stocks we're watching in particular ended up going green on the day and pulling back up and rising while the rest of the market didn't. Today, we're seeing kind of looks like we're following the S&P almost exactly. Everything kind of gapped up right around the same time, right at 1 a.m. And then slowly started coming back down exactly with the SPY. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Um, One thing of note, that I thought was I was fairly confident in or feeling positive about yesterday was, the overall market went down yesterday. Most stuff kind of took a hit yesterday, but Clove didn't. Clove ended up positive on the day, up 1.2%. GameStop ended up 2.6% yesterday, and even DraftKings, one of the new swing trades I kind of put in yesterday, also ended up 2%. BNGO up 2%. So kind of a positive day for 4 out of the 5 stocks. I mean, at least. AVXL still had somewhat of a flat day, down 13 cents, but for the most part, the broader market sold off yesterday. So, and co-creator saying right now that AMC is up, and he is correct. So it looks like, um, as the rest of the market kind of dipped, uh, around that same time, starting somewhere around 5:30, AMC did too. But I think it was already up so much, that even with that dip with the rest of the market, AMC still up 1.4% right now in pre-market. Um, so let's see here. Check out the chat real quick. I see Scotty's in here. Um, oh yeah, and for anyone that's just joining, well, I mean, as soon as we kind of figured this out, Tarheel's in the guest room right now, but or the green room. But once we kind of get the audio things figured out, we are gonna go try to go bell to bell today. So we'll do a little bit on this channel, and then maybe about halfway through, we're gonna switch over to his channel, see how that goes. So let's see. 68 Spindrift, good morning. Looking forward to this bell to bell. SRT says, I was out of pocket for a few days, missed you in Tarheel Blue streams. How did ATOS fail to squeeze? Was it something that primed fall backwards so many contracts? Yeah, I mean, I kind of talked about it on Friday too. So, a lot of times with these gamma squeezes, and we've seen it even with we've seen it even with CLOV as in the past, where we've had these setups for gamma squeezes. They don't always happen. I would say usually it's one of those things where I'll buy those cheap contracts, that expire that week, knowing it's just a straight up bet, and it's like you're gonna have the market makers trying to suppress the price, so the gamma squeeze doesn't happen, right? I'd say out of like and I could be a little bit off on how many I'm thinking about here off the top of my head, but I've probably played about 8 or 9 of them now. Between GameStop, one on AMC, a couple on Clove, and and now the ATOS one, and probably hit on about 4 out of 9 or something like that. So less than 50% of the time for sure. Probably less than that if I really put really go back and dig through the numbers of all the different ones, even before I started making videos. I'd say way less than 50% of the time they hit, but when they do, the payoff is pretty big. So I always keep my eyes open for those kind of plays. But definitely, basically, what happened is, if short sellers or market makers can prevent it from kicking off, you're gonna see the exact opposite. Then you're gonna see kind of unwinding on the option chain. Derek says, really appreciate your live streams every morning. Keep up the good work. No problem, man. Yeah, is anyone else watching the Blue Origin launch? So I'm not. I don't have it up. I got my screens all kind of, got everything else going on. So if you guys can keep us up to date with it. Jeff Bezos is going to space today. If anybody's watching, maybe keep us updated in the chat. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, JF. Good morning, Jason, Kim, Peter, Thomas in the chat, Carmen. We got a lot of people in here this morning. Co-creator. Let's see. Shrimply, good morning. Stars wants to know, can anyone actually confirm that Tar Heel is a North Carolina fan? I'll leave that one for him when he gets back in here. I know I'm behind too. I'm just trying to skip through. D Worms in the house, Target short sellers. Chef Daddy, good morning. Michael's here. I think I'm catching up. There we go. CT says he's already in space. Launched like 10 minutes ago. Okay. All right. I think I'm all caught up now. So it's 6:22. Dan, thank you for joining in. So before the bell, and I know Tar Heel wanted to get on the bell. He just texted me. He's restarting his computer, and we're gonna see what's going on. But we are gonna try to go bell to bell today. Before the opening bell, a couple things I wanted to go over. One was DraftKings. If anyone watched my video, that's a play that I bought a couple contracts yesterday. Um, after the live stream, I kind of decided that, yes, I was going to jump in. And if you were watching yesterday, I was waiting for a dip and maybe to bounce off of this line here to kind of show that the downtrend was reversing and it was ready to go up. But after that green candle yesterday, I feel like what's the difference between a couple bucks when really my expectation is that we're going to see this stock between now and probably November trade upwards of $75 as football season starts getting priced in. So that's my short term or my short analysis. I don't want to get too much into it, but in terms of options, what I'm going to be doing today, once the market opens, is running all the way out here to February. The IV still pretty low on this stock, and I'm looking to get into these February $65 strikes. And if they're where's the bid ask isn't updated right now, but they're going for about $2.40, somewhere around there. And I think with the delta being 24 on this is kind of your best bang for your buck. And if we do get that kind of movement, I'm expecting, if we can get up to like $70, $75 early, like in September, these things will be worth probably close to about $20 a contract. So almost 10 times the money. And that's kind of what I'm playing on here. So I'll be buying some of those at the open. The other thing I did notice was someone had asked me yesterday via text message, GameStop, what I thought about options. I mean, this is probably the cheapest IV I've ever seen on GameStop since January. I still think options are extremely risky. But if you wanted to throw in something and just buy something out of the money, even just to see if it, like a lotto ticket type play, they are pretty cheap. But I do think options right now with GameStop, or any of these squeeze plays, including CLOV, is really risky right now. So I'm not going to be playing any, but I will be kind of opening up a position in DraftKings or expanding on the one yesterday. Yesterday I bought 2 call contracts. I'm going to try to grab a couple more this morning. Let's see here. Micro Badger. How does a dude pour that much money into launching himself into space but can't be bothered to put a camera inside the capsule? Yeah, I hear that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Um, let's see. All right. Real quick, we could check out the iBorrow desk and some of that other data. But I think I said it yesterday, and then I made a video about CLOV last night, and I kind of explained too. I think we're kind of to this point where a lot of this short data and short interest is probably coming in on the dark pool, and I don't necessarily know how much we could trust these numbers anymore. Um, cost to borrow is down, 3.3 million shares available. We saw upwards of 5 million yesterday, or actually, I guess that was Friday. Yesterday, we were looking at, roughly what, 3.7 million, somewhere in that range, and we haven't seen a difference yet today. Looking at Ortex data right now on CLOV, it is showing 37 million shares available, with a net borrow difference of 3.7 million today. So we're probably maybe going to see an attack here early on. We'll have to see what happens. Let's see here. One other thing I'll kind of get to too before we get to the open that I wanted to. So Lisa in the chat actually had told me about this TRADYTICS. It's called TRADYTICS.com. Really great web. Just from what I've seen, it's I set up I set up an account yesterday and I've been looking at it. There's a ton of cool tools on here. But the one that I like the most, just for me at least right now, as I'm learning to get through this, is this options dashboard they have. It kind of puts a lot of the information all in one place. And, you know, um, let me see. Let me get down to where I was looking at. So it's got the max pain strikes for every expiration date you could pull up. So, like for instance, max pain for this week is $10. It also shows you where calls outweigh puts, which is kind of like my whole gamma squeeze theory. It really gives you a lot of great information. And this is just the options dashboard, but you can see updated what kind of money's flowing into the stock, all that kind of stuff. Um, so I put a link down there to like a referral link in the chat, but I wouldn't recommend that anyone like jump in and kind of subscribe to this yet. I'm still starting to learn it out, but maybe if you check out the free trial, I think it was like $7 for 7 days. That's what I'm doing right now. I guess that's not free, but all right. Tarheel's trying to come in. Let's see if we got this figured out. Okay, so I got him in the green room. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Tarheel. Oh, okay, cool. Looks like everything's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring them into the stream now. For anyone that's unaware, we are gonna try to go bell to bell today. So we should have a lot of fun. Let's see. All right. So you're in. You're live. Can you hear me now?
Now, can you hear me? I'll be right back in. Hold on.
Tarheel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. All right, so we made it. You
Sweet.
made it right for the opening candle. It's six. It's right at the open right now.
Go green, baby. Let's go green.
Yeah, that was I know I missed his text message this morning too. He had texted me way before the thing even started and said, "Hey, let's do a mic check around 5:45." And I
I
I
wasn't I wasn't gonna throw you under the bus, but you
nah,
can.
that was my bad for sure. Um, let me see here. So Chef Daddy said, "Did you see Al's video last night?" I did not. I didn't get a chance to check it out. I saw the update that he posted one.
I watched it.
Um, You watched it. You can jump into it. I don't know anything about what he was talking about or anything. So
Yeah, I sent him a message. He hasn't responded to it yet, but he was the gist of it that I got. It was late. He was basically saying that like out of the 136 um institutions that were in Clover Health, the majority of them, like 98% of them, were long. And so I sent him a text message back. I think that's what everybody's talking about. I sent him a message back. I was like, well, if everybody's long, and who's manipulating this, right? And my only thought would be market makers. So
but we saw. I don't know. I'll have to watch this video because the only thing that I would say to that is, and I'm sure. I mean, I'm not doubting what Al's information. I just have to watch it because what I see here, like on Fintel, is all these people disclosing short positions, right? That's
right.
what this entire list is.
He was
Um,
saying, sorry, I misspoke. He said long only, or I can't remember, man. It was like 1 a.m.
okay.
But he was saying there was a bunch of people long. So
Oh yeah, I mean there's a ton if you look at the institutions reporting, but I mean we still have like I said Saskatchewan is in here, uh, Citadel, so I mean, you could see that there's still Jane Street, like those people um we still do have, quite a bit of
Right.
shorters in the stock, but yeah, I mean there is a ton of institutions holding the stock long too.
Yeah.
Um
I mean, honestly, I don't care if institutions go short or long, you know? Like
yeah,
if everybody's long, it's fine by me. I, as much as I would love to take hedge funds money, I just want the stock to run, you know?
yeah. Looks like AMC's getting a nice boost right now.
Yeah, why are we down?
Yeah, well, I did notice. So before you had came on, we are seeing an Ortex right now. And for whatever it's worth, 3.7 million share differential. In borrowed shares. So, someone took out some shares today. This could be, us getting hit kind of early right now. That might be what we're looking at.
Hmm. I'm gonna take a look at it.
Yeah. Let me see here.
Vortex told me they were giving me a 7 day trial. It's been like 10 days. I think they must have forgotten about me.
What did you sign up for one, or they just
Yeah, I just hit the 7 day free trial thing.
Hold on one second. I'm just gonna. I got a
Yeah, take.
position I want to put in real quick. I want to buy. Get into my DraftKings position one more time.
Are you? Did you get in?
Yeah. So yesterday, a little while after our after we got off the stream, I ended up just buying. I got two call contracts right now, but I'm gonna grab some more right now. Um,
Yeah, do your thing.
let's see.
So on, I know you're doing that, but on Ortex it says 3.83 million borrowed shares and 4.7 thousand returned shares.
Say that one more time.
On Ortex it says 3.83 million have been borrowed, but 4.7 have been returned.
4.7 thousand.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Yeah, so there's a difference of
Oh,
3.8 million right now.
oh, that's why. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
forgive me.
So that's what I was looking at that too. Like, damn, there's quite a
You,
few
yeah,
being
you
borrowed
never
this morning.
you never see the thousand there. That's always a million. Oops. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
10% up.
I'm just gonna take a look at this on my phone because it looks like I'm just trying to get into this and it's let me see here.
Yeah, they're scared this is gonna run.
I agree.
Dude, I was having such a good conversation with Living It last night.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, the more I dig into this DCE thing, uh, the more just like a lot of times you dig into a company and you get a little nervous, you know, the more you learn. But the more I dig into this, I just the more diamond my hands get, really. I mean, we can talk about it. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, if you maybe
Yeah,
enlighten us a little bit on what you guys talked about. Sorry, I know there's a little bit of dead silence there. That's my bad. I was trying to get my order in, and I did. So I just got filled on that DraftKings play. So I'm
no,
good now. But go ahead. Let me know what you guys were talking about. I'd love to.
yeah, all good. So, and I made a video last night just kind of touching on it, and I'm gonna do a longer DD, but essentially, you know, what happened was there's the DCE model. I'm learning more about it. There were 53 direct contracting entities that basically got awarded 10 geographic locations, and these are called geos. And before January 1st of 2022, either doctors have to decide to align with one of these DCEs like us, or they're going to get force placed. These their patients are going to get force placed in January, and like CMS is not playing. This is not like a you get extension kind of thing, or any of that. So it's going to happen. And if the doctors don't align with the DCE, they get screwed because, like, let's say I'm a physician right now, and Clover Health calls me up and says, "Hey, we want to partner up with you. We want to, take your lives under management. We want to take your beneficiaries and hook them up." Well, as the PCP, I can say to Clover Health, "All right, well, let's negotiate some fees. If we save." So it's going from a fee for service model to a value based model, which essentially means that the insurance company, Clover Health, gets $850 per beneficiary. And so I, as the doctor, I'm probably not getting this 100% right, but I can basically go to you, Clover Health, and say, all right, well, if we save, uh, I'll take 10% of revenue saved. You take 90% of revenue saved, right? Or there's an only upside. I can say, okay, well, I can negotiate anything basically with you. I say, okay, if we save them $300 a year on premium, if I only want to risk the upside, then I'll take 5% of the upside. But if I share the downside risk with you, because you can actually get paid less than $850, and that's the beauty of it because it's all based on patient outcome. So if we get paid $750, I can choose to share that risk with you, or I can choose not to share that risk, but I might get less revenue sharing in the upside, right? The point is, I'm able to negotiate as the PCP if I do it before January 1st. If I don't, I get screwed, and I can get force placed with up to 7 DCEs. So the doctor has to do like 7 times the paperwork. It's wild. And then we were talking about was, he did that obviously great blog post about all this. And what do you call it? So we are leading the charge in terms of people that we've already signed up with 65,000. 65,000. Everybody else, one of them had 50,000. One of them had like 5,000. The other one had like 1,000. So that's when you saw that article posted yesterday with Atlanta,
Yeah.
that's one of our 8 states that we have this direct contracting model in, and that's why they're starting to do marketing, because the patients and the doctors can actually go in and choose a direct contracting entity to align with. So there's just, not only do we have access to 200,000 people via the Clover Assistant database, but we've also got marketing campaigns set up, and it's just, does that all make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I know the kind of like you're saying. Basically, I'll try to summarize it to a certain extent, but basically, the DC model, as opposed to the MA model, is more profitable for Clove, and it's a lot easier for everybody involved. Correct, and then
Yeah.
basically, Clove right now is leading the way in this switch over to the DC, and the only other thing that I would add on to that is, how they get to choose. That's where, like, the strategic partnerships that Clove gets into, I think, is really important,
Right.
and where Clover Assistant comes into play, because if the Clover Assistant AI technology is making it easier on, doctors and healthcare providers and everybody else, clinics, whatever it may be, the more and more people that adopt this Clover Assistant, which I believe right now Clover is actually giving away. They're not charging people for it. They're just trying to
Yeah,
build
well,
up the
that
customer base and build up the amount of managed lives inside the base. But the more so they give it, they give this away, and people start adopting Clover Assistant. Probably the more people that'll end up into these DC plans. Is
that's
that kind of
exactly right.
yeah?
Yeah, and that's funny. That's the second part of what I was gonna say. So I asked him, Centene bought Apixio, which is a software company for healthcare, and then United bought Change Health, which is another software company. And Apixio is a paid product. So as a physician, you have to pay Centene if you want to use their software system, like Clover Assistant, right? So ours is free, Apixio's is not, and then Change Health. Um, Let me see. I'm reading this right here. Only had admin software, and it's not comparable to Clover Assistant. So these large companies, the big boys, are far behind. And on top of that, only Humana and United Healthcare are participating DCEs. Centene is not even participating yet. Like, can you imagine? Like, one of the largest healthcare companies in the world is not even participating, and all these members up for grabs. I mean,
Yeah.
there's another 46 million beneficiaries that have to be placed by January.
Yeah, and I think you kind of touched on this a while back too in one of our streams, just when we were kind of shooting the shit. But you had you had said basically that it's easier for Clove to build into the future as opposed to these other kind of dinosaurs in the industry having to change into the future. Just to kind of summarize what we had talked about before. But I think that's going to be huge too, because Clove's already kind of built this their
Right.
organization and their growth model in for this, where a lot of these other companies have to change, and the bigger the company, the kind of the harder the change, I would imagine. So I really think that we're set up for a lot of major growth here. And I think, honestly, what we probably, myself, maybe even more so, I was going to say we should probably do, but um, and I'm talking in terms of all YouTubers and even Reddit posters and everybody, is kind of talk more about this type of stuff and about how much the long term investment of Clove and the growth of Clove. And I know we all have, but and not get so caught up in the squeeze play of it, because honestly, I do think that this is going to be a short squeeze by all means, but in order to kind of like build up the long term holders in this stock, people need to understand what it is they're buying. You know what I mean? Um, and I
Yeah.
think Clove is positioned for massive growth. Over the next, like I said in the video I put out yesterday, like if anyone's willing to hold this long term, like for years, this could be a 20 times, 30 times stock in general. Um,
Easily.
you know, but short term growth, I think you're looking without a squeeze 2 to 3 times. Where we're
Well,
trading
this,
at right now, easy.
yeah, this is like everybody's complained about it for decades. Education and healthcare reform, and it's here, Coach. It's here. The everything I dig into just confirms that you know healthcare has been what's called a fee for service model for as long as we've known it. You go in, you break your finger, and you go into the PCP's, your primary care physician's office, and he's like, all right, well, let me set the finger for you. Let me take some x-rays. While we're here, like, let's check you for high blood pressure, chronic heart disease, diabetes, all that stuff. And then they turn around and bill the insurance companies. It's called fee for service. And it's like the more they can run diagnosis on you, the more they can charge, right? Well, it's not, it's changing. It's going from a fee for service to a value based care model, which is, I don't want to call it socialized medicine. It's like partly socialized, but obviously like capitalistic too. It's socialized in the sense that they give you a benchmark price of, let's call it $850 in this scenario, and then whatever you can save via keeping the patient healthy, you get to share. You obviously get to make profit, but you also get to reimburse the PCP and the patient. So it rewards you, it incentivizes you to have a healthy patient outcome and save the whole system money, you know?
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to jump into the comments real quick. I've been
Go
starring
for
a
it.
couple just so we don't get too far behind. So, um, first up, TSS, and anyone who's unfamiliar, Target Short Sellers also has a pretty great YouTube channel covering Clove. But he says, breaking news: Melvin Capital is estimated to extend losses to 53% for the year, which near its $3.2 billion loss in January. According to Bloomberg, it was estimated to be down 49% in April. Yeah. So anyone who's not unfamiliar, Melvin Capital was one of the kind of the big villains in the GameStop uh, saga. Like they were the big firm that was short GameStop. I don't know that Melvin are they short when we looked at that list the other day? Tar Heel, are they short in Clove as well,
I'm,
or do you
I'm not
know?
I'm not sure. I don't even know if it would pop up Melvin anymore because their Citadel bought them, right?
Well, so what
Or at least
happened was
at
when
least
Melvin
backed
was
at
they
least
were getting
backed
ready
them.
to get liquidated, they Melvin Capital
Right.
borrowed like $3 billion from like I think it was Citadel and two other companies to kind of bail them out. But then I haven't really heard much about them or from them since then. So I don't know. I mean, they may have just went under, or like you said, like maybe got bought out by somebody. D Worm says, can hedge funds borrow from ETFs? Um, so they could short, yeah, basically they could short ETFs. So that was something that was kind of discovered again through like GameStop and the whole Super Stonk subreddit, or may even been before that subreddit was even came about. But someone did some great DD on that. That basically they were shorting the ETFs that contained these stocks in it, and in some instances even created ETFs with those specific stocks in it, so that they could just short short the hell out of the ETFs. And then what happens is, now they can put off failure to delivers and other things like that, and kind of kick the can down the road by shorting the ETF and then not covering there, but covering somewhere else. So they have some kind of crazy manipulation tactics. I don't know if you want to add on to that.
Yeah, I we followed that rabbit hole in AMC for a long time, and while I think that obviously I do think that is a thing. I mean, when you short an ETF, you're also shorting a bunch of other stocks, and those are obviously value weighted. So it could be like 1% of the whole ETF is Clover Health, and that would not surprise me in the least. And Ehor was saying that it was it didn't really make a ton of sense that if you were really going after a company, a stock, you would try to do that. I think I mean, not to say they don't, with maybe like you were saying, failures to deliver, maybe they could get around it via that. But I think if they wanted to short us, there's plenty of shares and naked shares to do it, and they would just do that. The What I've been digging into lately is rehypothecation, and I'm not sure if are you familiar at all?
Somewhat. I mean, I've been like kind of reading posts on it, but I be honest, I don't feel well versed enough in it to kind of like explain it. So if you want to take a
So
stab at it, or
yeah, we'll see if I slow down throughout the day. I got enough coffee in me right now to handle that. But so rehypothecation is this: like, let's say I get a mortgage from you, and you take my house as collateral, right? So if I stop paying payments on my house, you take my house, okay? And then you, in turn, you're like, all right, I want to go get a loan. I need some, like, you need whatever, you need money. Let's say you need 100 grand. So you go to somebody and borrow money and use my house as collateral. So if I if if uh, if I stop making payments, you take my house. But what happens if you stop making payments? What happens if you default on that loan? Then they can't take my house, and they're screwed. So rehypothecation, there's a bunch of middlemen, and it breaks down when there's middlemen. So the prime brokers like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, they this goes back to the ETFs. They are the ones supplying these hedge funds. So if they get over leveraged through rehypothecation, the whole system could break down. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing with how they're able to short us so heavily. They're able to short us up to 140% of their, I believe, of the collateral in the United States, and unlimited in the UK. So,
that was kind of like one of the House of Cards articles, what that was built on, right? The I don't know if you read that from Autobit. He
yeah, yeah,
basically,
yep.
yeah. So that was one of those. So it's almost, I mean, just to simplify it down a little bit, but basically, I own these shares. I'm lending them to you, and now you're lending them out to somebody else, and then they're lending them out to somebody else. So the collateral behind it, right? Is that
Yeah,
kind of what we're?
I think it's more. I was thinking that initially that it had to do a lot with retail, with like loaning and borrowing and loaning and borrowing, and maybe it does. I only looked at it from a macro standpoint with prime brokers. Like they might loan out, you know, 10 million shares, or and then the hedge funds use those, but they also use them as collateral to go get more money. And like if we were to, if the system could be blown up, if
Yeah. No, it
yeah,
just
if we,
takes one collapse, and then all of a sudden it's just
yeah,
gonna, have a chain reaction. D Worm says it sounds like a
exactly,
Ponzi scheme. I think you're exactly right.
it is.
All right, so a couple other comments I got in here. Let's see here. Um, where'd it go? Thomas says, if most of retail is diamond hands at this point, my hypothesis, how easy is it for shorts to apply continued pressure? Um, I mean, so basically, what happens is if and so what we're talking about here is, if all of us retail, if people are just buying up Clove shares and we're not selling and we just continue to buy and hold, basically what happens is, they start running out of shares to short, right? Because we're basically taking up all the supply out there, and that starts taking away the shares that they could borrow, especially if people are turning off their share lending on their brokers. And because now you're basically, when people are borrowing these shares, they could be borrowing them from, let's say, TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is lending out millions and millions of shares. Well, if all the TD Ameritrade retail users start buying up these shares in the market and turning off share lending or doing it on non-marginable accounts or through cash, contacting their brokers and saying that they don't want their shares lent out, we're basically taking away the supply. And so now, where at one point we saw 61 million shares on loan or 60 million through Ortex, now all of a sudden, if there's only 50 million available out there because retail's gobbling up all the shares and we're not selling, it kind of takes away their ability to short sell. And the other thing is, as they short sell into the market, they want us to sell our shares, kind of get scared and paper hand them, if you will. But if you're diamond handing and you're not selling them, now when they have to buy those shares back, they're going to do it they're going to drive the price higher when they do it because of decreased volume. Does that sound about right?
That's
That's
perfect.
uh,
Couldn't have said it any better. The only thing I would add to that is, retail. Um, Retail doesn't have as much power as institutions do, but retail has does have a lot of power. I mean, even with 500 million shares with AMC, retail was able to rally 3 million individual retail investors together to buy up a lot of the float, but it wasn't until institutions came in that they actually squoze. So we have that every potential to have that happen as well.
all right. Let's see.
I think for tax purposes and a lot of different reasons, I think a lot of these large institutions don't play that game though, and they don't want to get slapped by the SEC. But if we do, I think if we have a good earnings call, we lower the MCR. Living It was saying that we estimated annual revenue. I can't remember what he was saying. Revenue is going to be like 30 million, and we should see that in profit for the rest of the year. So I think if we have a good earnings call, that we might attract a lot of institutions, and I don't know. Usually I get scared when we get earnings, but I'm kind of excited for this one.
Yeah, I think with earnings, if we start seeing you know, just any sort of positive news or beating expectations, anything along those lines, really
Mhm.
what we want to see is more institutional investors, right? We want to see more big boys coming in and buying up stock,
Yeah,
and that could be the difference maker. Um,
yeah. And last time we had, the analysts interpreted the data wrong. The 200,000 number. Clover came out and said that they had access to 200,000 beneficiaries
That was
when
that Hindenburg tweet I was talking about. You
yes,
know,
yeah,
they basically came out and said, "Oh, look, Clove was
right,
lying. You know, originally they said they have 200 and all this kind of stuff, and because of the earnings
scumbags.
call, and that was, dude, that stock was ready to take off that day. I mean, and the setup was there.
Yeah,
It was ready to explode. This is back in May, and it was May, right? Yeah, it had to have been because
yeah,
it's been
yeah.
about
It
3 months. It was in May, and then that tweet dropped, and so did the stock. Um,
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like playing basketball with somebody who like calls fouls all the time, and when you're playing street ball, it's like that's not how this works, man. Stop being a stop being stupid.
CT says insurance side of things, it's a numbers game. Every patient we add decreases our cost per patient. With expansion, you can see how rapidly our costs can decrease. Absolutely, and that's basically a part of this expansion, and that's what's amazing about like Clove is Tarheel touched on earlier, like in terms of this DC model, we're leading the pack, and yet we're one of the smaller companies right now. I mean, we're only
Mm-hmm.
operating in I don't know the exact numbers, 11 or 13 states, something like that.
I think it's
But 209.
13.
Go ahead. How many was it? I didn't hear. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I think it's 13 states.
13 in 209 counties. I mean, throughout the whole United States. So I mean, there's so much room for growth. Even in the counties that they're in, there's room for growth. I mean, but we're leading the pack in the DC model, and we're probably one of the smallest companies out of the pack. So a lot of room for expansion, a lot of room for growth, and that plays directly into what CT's saying. More lives under management we have, the more the cost per patient is going to decrease.
Yeah, I would slightly kind of modify that, and it obviously having more patients and more physicians sign up is going to increase revenue, right? But we are what's considered a loss leader, just like software companies. It takes a lot to acquire a patient. It's a very sticky product. Insurance is once we get a patient, but the first year it's a loss. MCR is high. Operating expenses are high, marketing expenses are high. It's only year two. MCR, I think, is estimated at like 95% year one. And then year two, Clover Health has come out and said we estimate year two we should see MCR somewhere between 70 and 85%.
All right, I got one more question here that
If
just
I'm getting
came
too
in.
nerdy for you guys, let me know. So,
Says, how do you get more retail investors to be interested in Clove? You wanna take that one first, and then I'll piggyback off you, or you.
we like the stock. We like the stock. Um, yeah, I've been pretty I don't know, adamant day one since I've been doing this. The whole reason I'm in front of a camera, this wasn't my original thought. I didn't do this like to be popular or anything. I just saw a need for it that I was part of the AMC movement, and I saw how well they organized, and I saw how I don't want to say disorganized, but I saw potential to grow this community and educate each other, and I saw that the subreddit had already been doing an amazing job. So, in my humble opinion, I just think growing via Twitter, Discord, obviously the subreddit is the foundation for all of this. Just growing in all of that and just spreading the word is a good way to make that happen. It's funny because I look back on it now and I miss the AMC squeeze, but I'll never forget. It's like things you look at in hindsight. You're like, oh, that was weird. I remember for months, my best friend and my brother didn't say anything to me about AMC, but all of a sudden, I look back on it like the week before we squoze, they were asking me, they're like, "Oh man, what do you think about AMC?" And I was like, "Why are you guys saying this now? I've been in this for like 4 months." And I think, if we spread the word long and hard enough, that we'll start to see, you'll get random text messages about that, like, "Oh, what is Clove?" I see this in the news now.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off that, obviously building the community getting more people into the subreddit, maybe getting people into Discord, retweeting. So we kind of talked about this on one of the first roundtables, but even if you're not one of the people that somebody that likes to go out and create a tweet or create something on social media, you could still share it, and I think that's just as powerful, if not more powerful, right? So you can go on Twitter, search up Clove, and there's plenty of people already out there putting out great information about the stock. Retweet it, share it with your friends. But also trying to get people into the Clove subreddit, I think, is really important. I have a link to that inside the description of this, but I think that's important because kind of exactly what Tho just put in here in the chat. We need to get people to appreciate Clover Assistant. Is the key to get more retail investors. But how do you get them to appreciate Clover Assistant if they don't know what it's about? So there's a ton of
Right.
great DD in the subreddit. And also, one thing I don't know if you mentioned just now or not, but supporting, YouTubers who are covering the stock and not just trying to pump a squeeze, right? And so I know I've made some videos about Clove as a not just a squeeze play, and we talk about all these important factors. Tarheel's talked about a lot of this stuff. Sean Stocks has Al Trades is covering this stock very well. And there's target short sellers. There's a lot of people covering this stock even on YouTube. And one thing that you could do to attract more retail is, going onto YouTube, subscribing to all those people, liking their videos, right? Because if you go on and like all the videos that are in there that are talking about Clove and YouTube, all you're doing is pushing them up further in the algorithm. So now when somebody's searching up, Wish or AMC or GameStop or any of these other stocks, if they might just stumble across Clove because everybody going and liking all these videos from all these different people covering Clove is going to push them higher in the algorithm too. So that's another way we can get people to find out more uh, about
Yeah.
Clove. They have to learn about it, right?
It kind
Um,
of sucks. It kind of sucks because I really firmly believe that this is the beginning of the change in the entire healthcare industry. And I've been doing DD for like a month solid, and I'm just now scraping the surface of why that is to come. And I just don't think the general population can wrap their heads around this model. And I think it's going to take some large news stories too, like Medicare expansion, hopefully getting passed, and all that kind of stuff too. But it's kind of a bummer because AMC and GameStop, there's not much to that. It's, hey, movies are fun, and the hedge funds are killing our movies, right? So
Yeah, no, I get it. It's definitely a different type of business plan or business model that, some people don't understand. I'm going to be perfectly honest. It took me a while to really get it. And that's when I ended up kind of getting in as a long term investor once I started realizing
mhm.
like this isn't health insurance. This is a technology driven play, and with the Clover Assistant, but then even with the health insurance side of it, the room for growth they have too. So, uh, you know, but the more people learn about it, I think the more the better off, and people will be willing to just hold this stock through volatility. For me, and I know I said it in the video I made last night, and I think it was Chef Daddy was kind of giving me had commented on it. I think it was, but either way, what I said was, is this stock going to go lower? I don't know, but even if it does, I really don't care. Like I don't like if this drops. I thought it was a steal at $13. I thought it was a steal at $10. It's definitely a steal right now at $8. Nothing's changed fundamentally for me about this stock. If anything, I'm more bullish on it
No,
because of all the great news that's been coming out and kind of everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks with this stock. So if it was to drop down to 6 tomorrow, that's not going to make me sell. If anything, it's going to make me go figure out how to get more shares at that low price. So,
that's what I just did.
yeah, I don't care if it goes lower. I really don't. This is a fantastic opportunity at 8, and I think it's even better. The lower it gets.
Yeah,
Um,
I was a little worried. The only thing that had me like a little concerned was that the larger players would be like really stiff competition for us. And again, if you haven't seen this, Centene purchased a company called acquired a company called Apixio, who does basically the same thing we do. And then United Health purchased a company called Change Health, and I was a little worried about that. I talked to Live in it, and essentially, you have to, again, if you're just joining, we talked about this a little while ago, but with the Pixio, the physician has to pay to use that product, right? So, and then the Change Health product is only like, I think it's only for billing, something about billing. It's not really set up like Clover Assistant. So we're an organic growth company that already has like a native AI product, and I think it's a great long term play. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, I think, obviously I wouldn't recommend this just because there is the squeeze potential right now. But if someone was to just buy this stock and just not even look at it for 5 years, I think, it's a millionaire maker in itself. But, it's like, and we've talked about this before. If this thing was to squeeze next week or the week after that or the month after that, and hit some insane prices, right now in the short term, you got to take advantage of it, and then jump back in for the long
Mhm.
term once it falls back down. But like I said, you could just as easily sit on these shares for the next 3 years or so, and I think you'll be just as happy. Um, so there's one comment that I kind of skipped over a while back that I want to get to. Just I don't know if you're still here, cargo ship. But let me see. So he said, "I found you folks because you folks cover ATOS. For me, it's not about money. Breast cancer needs help, and ATOS has a mission, no matter how long it takes. They'll kill it eventually when stage 3 works." And then he says, hopefully ATOS will go to 68 cents. I'll buy 1,000 or 10,000 more shares. So I just wanted to pull this up because I do, it's not that I don't have a position in ATOS right now. And I know my position expired on Friday, but I have been monitoring it pretty closely. And I just want to pull this up because I'm waiting for the reversal, but because I don't know this, I could see this falling as low to $2 now at this point, maybe. Just looking at the chart before it starts to reverse trend. But when it does finally reverse trend, I am going to look to maybe jump in because, the more I've kind of seen about the stock, it's very similar to my story with CLOV. Like I do like this stock as a long term play, but I also don't want to get caught in buying up here when it's still kind of coming down. So I'm looking for
Hey,
maybe like this $2 range and to show like a actual, solid reversal before I jump in.
so I have a question for you.
Yes.
I don't know about this company a lot, but did you say they're in? So they're obviously, what are they trying to create pharmaceuticals for? Breast cancer, and did you say like Tourette's and some other things?
No, so ATOS is breast cancer.
Oh, okay,
AVXL is more into that's the other
gotcha.
one that I'm in long term. But AVXL is basically creating drugs for Alzheimer's, Tourette's. God, I can't think of the other. There's a couple other diseases that they're looking to cure, and
I gotcha.
the cool thing about AVXL is pill form. So there's a couple other drugs out there that are similar to what they do, but that you have to take shots and things like that. But with what AVXL is doing is getting these drugs
Interesting.
going in pill form, which is pretty interesting in itself. And I know they have
Well,
some results, but ATOS actually in the near future is supposed to get, I think, some phase 2 data and then eventually phase 3 data where
okay.
I think it's another strong play too, man. I really do. I'm just, kind of. I don't like to have my hand in too many fires all at once. So, you
Yeah.
know, I'm
Well,
back
that's
into 5 stocks.
that I wanted to say real quick that that caught me when you said that. I haven't really shared this with anyone yet, but I'm gonna be following that one pretty hard. AVXL. Then I actually have Tourette's, and I was diagnosed by a neurologist when I was 9. And I tick pretty hard when I'm by myself. I can control it most times, but it's not a severe case. But it sucks, and that's something I'll definitely be following. So appreciate you bringing that to the forefront.
So I have a ton of information that my buddy Colin gave me, and that
Really?
we've been sharing. He's the one that kind of turned me on to AVXL, and I mean I've got a ton of information I'll send you when we get
Yeah,
offline. But
do it.
um, you know,
I gave up hope a long time ago, but you never know because
yeah,
we're forgotten about population. Nobody's ever cared. There's not enough of us.
yeah, it's Tourette's,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, and dementia. I think is another
Mhm.
one. So kind of like a lot of the diseases in that same wheelhouse is what they're looking to cure, and apparently they've been having some pretty strong results too. Um,
Hmm.
so let me see if we can get. I got a couple other starred ones. So I got that one. Oh, SRT, and if you want to, let's see here. So SRT said, I know this was a while ago too. Is there any meaning worth looking at when the L2 is so lopsided? Buy orders graph super high, sell order graph super low. Does that signify anything? To a noob, it says no one is selling, should go up. So I think what he's talking about is we're looking right here. The buy orders coming in, sell orders is lower, and then just looking at the numbers here. I know Tarheel said in the past too, and I agree with this. You know, a lot of times when you see these numbers on the level two, sometimes they're fake, and what I mean by that is somebody will put this order up to scare away the other side. You know, if you put a huge sell order in on level two, you might scare bulls away. You might scare buyers away, thinking that they're never going to be able to get through that sell wall, something along those lines. But
Mhm.
I don't. Do you want to talk? I don't really even know. I'm just perfectly honest what this little graph right here is.
Yeah. What graph?
Yeah, you see the
Oh,
graph right here above in the
oh yeah. That's just volume of orders. So where it's high, it just means like more dollars are on that side. And
Gotcha.
I have looked at level twos like with a magnifying glass for months, and I've never been able to figure out any sort of trend, and nothing ever makes sense to me. Sometimes when the the bid is getting slapped, the price will increase. And sometimes when the ask is getting slapped, the price will be going down. It all just depends on what these market makers are trying to accomplish. And the only other thing I would say is that, like right now, you can see an order for 30,743 shares at $7.90. I mean, that could be a market maker trying to push through and go and stop people out. Right? It's not necessarily a whale coming in buying 30,000 shares.
All right, let me see here.
But that's a good question, though.
Yeah. So anybody, I know we have quite a few people in here. If you guys could do us a favor and hit the like button. I usually haven't. I know I haven't said that in a long time, but it will help us out with the algorithm. I think maybe we can get some more people in here because we're gonna try to do this all day. So if we can kind of generate some more likes, get some
Yeah,
more people jumping into this stream, that would be awesome. Um,
yeah. I might have to do some jumping jacks in the background halfway through.
let's see.
I feel like a poker player. They sit like all day, but a lot of them do Pilates and crazy workouts just to be able to endure the sitting.
Let's
So
see here. So Div by Zero says ATOS is creating indexophin for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. Also an inhalable vaccine for COVID. Okay, see, I didn't even know about the COVID part of the play. Um, I
hmm.
just I just started learning about ATOS. I mean, I first learned about it because of the gamma squeeze potential. And I mean, that was insane. If that thing would have hit, I've never seen an option chain that loaded, but
Yeah,
those plays are far and few between. So I always like to throw a little money at them when I find them. But then I started doing some research into the company, and like I said, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm not gonna try to even chase into anything now, or it just kind of let it bottom out and start that reversal before getting back in. But it does look like a pretty promising play. Um, Badass Dad's Cast says ATOS is working on a version of Oh, okay, so that's kind of what Div by Zero said too. Goes directly to the bloodstream rather than passing through the liver. Okay, so that's that whole inhalable thing. I believe this would be 70 to 80% more effective than current version of the drug. Um,
You think some FDs would be a good idea on this? I mean, biotech, whatever companies, whatever you want to call them, are obviously risky plays. They can come out with one bad result and the whole company can tank, or they can come out with one amazing result and then it can explode, right? It seems like it's a pretty depressed price right now. What do you think about FDs?
yeah, see, so that was kind of like my whole play with with the original Gamma Squeeze was like, if I'm in this for the Gamma Squeeze potential, well, the Gamma Squeeze would have been last week, so it's like, okay, I'd rather buy some options contracts instead of wasting or getting into shares where you might, you could end up getting putting a lot more capital up at risk. The only thing with I wouldn't play short term at this point because there's really no like that I know of like a catalyst for this week or a catalyst for next
Mm-hmm.
week. But even if you just went out to like August, a month from now, so you're going to get cheaper options and kind of, I mean, it's super cheap. I mean, $10 at the or to get 10 cents for a $7 strike, somewhere in there. I wouldn't go all the way to the top just because if you look at this option chain right now, um, it looks like you can get what a $9 strike for the same price you can get a $16 strike. You know what I mean? So you might as well go nine. But um, I'm even just tempted to see like if you went all the way out to January, what the difference would be, and if we went to the top of the option chain there, like because these are the type of plays when you're talking about these things where all it's going to take is like that one good result, and yeah, this thing could end up shooting up to like $30 or $40. I don't know. I'll take a look at it, and kind of look into the option chain a little bit more and see where like the best bang for your buck is. Um,
Were you
usually
buying were you buying options? How was the IV when you were buying it?
it was high because of the like in terms of last week when we were doing the the gamma squeeze play, the IV was pretty high at the time.
So
Um,
that didn't scare you at all?
well, no, because I actually went with just like the top of the option chain, $16 strike, 1 week expiration. So that'd be
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
like at the time it'd be like if right now you went in and bought these $11 strikes for
yeah.
$5 or something.
And
I mean,
and you weren't waiting on a catalyst. You just saw the options chain loaded up and were
yeah,
looking for
but from
gamma
what I'm
squeeze,
seeing
right?
now, there is some potential catalysts coming in the future with like their phase
Really?
two. I think is getting announced sometime soon. So there is some potential catalysts out there. But yeah, I was just purely playing the option chain. Didn't.
I think if Clove exploded tomorrow, I might take like 10% off the table and play some ATOS options. I have looked at options chains enough to know that was ridiculous. There's probably a lot of institutions pissed off right now that didn't squeeze.
Yeah, and one thing I did notice, I think me and you were talking about this offline one day, but like, Clove was pretty loaded up back in April, right? And then when that didn't hit, they loaded up the May chain. And when that didn't hit, they loaded up the June chain. So whoever it was that was trying to leverage this initial like gamma squeeze that we saw back in
Yeah,
June 8th now, is that how long ago it's been?
I don't know.
Was that I think that was the day where we ran up to 22, 28. But either way, um,
Oh yeah,
whoever
June
was
June 9th. Yeah,
whoever was consistently just loading up the chain, they were doing it every month. So when April didn't happen, we started seeing all this open interest pour into May, and when May didn't happen, we saw this open interest pour into June, and then June was the one that hit, right? So I can imagine that ATOS, and that's what I mean. I've been kind of monitoring it because I can see, somebody, whoever it is that loaded that up, get coming back in for the August chain, and then, maybe even moving into the September chain, and just to keep doing it, or even the
yeah.
July.
Makes you think. Makes you somebody knows something. It seems like.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, honestly, like, okay, so last week I did that, the kind of weekly expiration, top of the chain, cheapest options I could find to be a part of what I saw as a short term play. But actually, I mean, if and I'll try to look at what the IV is. I don't even know where to find that. in here. I'll look on my phone right now. But at that point, if you just want to get involved for the long term, but still go cheap, that's when I would probably just give yourself a couple months. Maybe go out to October, and then you could still get these for cheap. I mean, it looks like right in here around the $10 strike, you could probably pick this one up for about $20 a contract. Um,
They were stacking weekly options though, not just monthly, right? In
yeah,
ATOS.
the majority of the actually, you know what? I'll pull that up right now on this new TRADYTICS thing
While
that
you're looking at that, I just wanted to say what's up to Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Good morning. And update on days to cover. It looks like Ortex has it at 0.65, down from 0.72 yesterday. So, but once it's going to take a while for those June 9th volume numbers to get out of there. It's a 3 month rolling average, so it's gonna take 3 months past June 9th, and then we would see a spike at that point.
Hey, SRT did a super chat. Right on, man. Thank you.
Nah,
Yeah, I didn't
hey,
even know. I didn't even realize that that I had the or it's a super sticker. Okay, super sticker. So I just, for those of you that don't know, I just monetized the channel not too long ago, and I guess the super sticker and super chat is available in there in the chat now. But thank you, man. I appreciate it. Um, let's
I've never
see.
seen a super sticker. I know
Me,
super chat.
yeah, I don't.
Huh.
Me neither. But we'll thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
I'm trying to catch up real quick.
Were you gonna pull up ATOS?
Yeah, I just
Um,
want to make sure there's nothing else that I. Here, I'm gonna let you answer this one while I'm pulling up ATOS. CT said this a while ago, but I
okay.
know that said G Capital Strategies LLC and G Capital Strategies 2 LLC. Why does EE need a second LLC close to
Oh
the name of her
man,
first one?
what in the hell? I'm probably better off not answering that question as anything to do with her. We'll just put it that
All
way.
right, all right. So here's the ATOS options dashboard on TRADYTICS. I'm still kind of. Let me refresh this.
And Dan, I'll get to you in a second. I saw your question in there.
Huh. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Maybe ATOS. I noticed that with BNGO yesterday too. I couldn't get data on it. Like if I pull up CLOV, it's got everything. Um,
Yeah.
but
So
on
TradyTix isn't just dark bullet stuff. You're using
no
that for other
man, I
things
mean
too.
this software is pretty damn cool.
Really?
I mean, I was just looking through here. They've got so much stuff, and I'm still learning about how all this works. But
Do they have the same data as Ortex?
no. So
Okay.
it's not like a updated short interest type
Yeah.
thing.
You know that thing we were talking about yesterday? That thing
Oh,
where
the other software.
yeah, but I mean maybe I can get this subscription, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the that other one, I don't know if it's really worth it. That one that had the what is
Yeah.
flow trade. I'm still looking into it to see how it works, but
Well,
yeah,
what did XM end up doing? Because it said it was going down to 33, right?
yeah. You know what? Let me see.
I got it on my watch list too. Let's see here. Yeah, it's at 36.70. So, uh,
Yeah, so there was this other software that I've just been looking at different software really because I was trying to find something with dark pool data, to see how much dark pool data we can, really get like live. And so there was this other software called Flow Trade. Um, and I haven't, I did a subscription, not a subscription, but a trial subscription to it to check it out. And it was a little bit different than what I thought. And maybe there might be more information in there, but basically it was more for like day trading purposes to see where the algorithms and dark pool money was going now. So like on this 1 minute chart, if the dark pool money's coming in higher than the candles, then you would want to get into a day trade on it. But it didn't really look like it's giving data for on a daily or weekly, like where the money's flowing into, and no specific numbers. It was just lines. So I mean, it may be pretty cool. There was actually no, there was specific numbers in there, but I don't know. I feel like already I like this TRADYTICS a little bit better. So,
Really?
um, but I still got to play around with both before the trial's up, especially
Yeah.
because that one's like 200 a month, man.
Damn. Well, let's
Yeah,
let's find something. I mean, if we're gonna do that thing we were talking about,
yeah.
you know, let's find a good one. I'll jump on it.
But like, so right now, for instance, like TRADYTICS, this is their information. I'm still kind of learning how to look at this, but basically, what it's saying is already today there's been 9 dark pool trades. Um, 1 million in bull money, 64,000 in bear money. So looks like it's more bullish in the dark pool today, but that's just
really,
so far. Yeah, but yesterday there was a net differential of like 4 million shares or 4 million in the on the bear side. So still
is that
kind of learning
shares
how to
or
go ahead.
dollars? Is that shares or dollars?
Dollars. So you could see here the actual. Here, let me make this bigger. You could see here the actual. What we're looking at, but it's basically, a bullish buy came in at what 658 um, at the 809 price, 39,000 shares for $315,000. Um, and just kind of so it gives you, and I would imagine these are like people that are shorting into the market, you know what I mean? And these were
Yeah.
buyers coming in and buying. So, um,
I mean, that's a cool feature. That's exactly what we've been wanting to see in the dark pool, right? But is it $200 a month cool? I don't, I don't know.
Well, no, this TRADYTICS, this is the TRADYTICS software right here, and this one is I think 40 or 50 a month.
Oh,
So,
all
yeah, I
right,
put a
all right.
link to it in the description of this video too, because I already like it. Like this is just looking at
Yeah,
the dark pool data, but I mean, like I said, let's say like with the options flow, and I know I pulled this up earlier too, but like if you look at Clove. I had been breaking down a lot of the options chains by hand, or going to bar chart and then like exporting them into an Excel sheet and really doing a lot of crazy stuff trying to get this type of information. But basically, call volume, call versus put, open interest, historical premiums, but just to look at like the whole gamma exposure type thing and potential for gamma squeezes. Again, let me bring this out.
hmm
And I'll show you what I'm looking at here. But you could pull up the max pain for each week. What I think is pretty interesting is we're trending upwards in max pain. So if market makers really are trying to push the stock along to keep it at that max pain price, we're supposed to close this week somewhere around 10 and next week somewhere around 13. And then by the 20th, max pain price is 20. So we're definitely trending upwards in terms of max pain. But it also shows you just in the grand scheme of things where the open interest is, calls versus puts in a very easy manner. So it's not by individual expiration dates, but it goes throughout the entire chain. So right now, once we cross $9 for the entire chain, calls outweigh puts 35,000 to 13,000. Um, and then
That's
it's
interesting.
yeah, and then the discrepancy just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you go on, especially at the $15 strike. So again, there's a ton of great information and that's just
Yeah,
the dark pool and the open interest
maximum
thing.
MaximumPain.com is pretty good with that too. They for the difference between the call and the put volume. I like that
Maximum
website.
pain.
Maximum hyphen. I think it's maximum hyphen pain. It's maximum-pain.com. Yep. And then just click on
Maximum.
options on the top left,
Okay.
and then it's got the hold on, yeah, and then it's got the chart pulled right up.
I like it. I like it.
So that's a good freebie.
Yeah. Let me bookmark this.
that's my thing. There's usually enough data out there. You don't have to pay for most stuff, but dark pool has just been the one like elusive
Yeah. Well, and
creature
and then
that
it's
nobody.
it's hard to like get everything all into one place too. That's the one thing I like about the
Yeah,
trading ticks that I've seen so far. But yeah, I would agree if if you're just trying to follow along, to a certain extent, I wouldn't pay the money either. Especially when other people can share that data. That's like
yeah,
Ortex. We had talked about that on the one of the first live streams, the roundtables. We were talking about different tools, and it's like, man, I don't think it's worth it for everybody that's invested in Clove to go pay $40 a month for Ortex. I'd rather see you buy
no,
shares or do something
no.
better when you're with your money, because you'll be able to see
Yeah,
the
I
Ortex
mean,
data on a daily by either like looking at my stream, going and looking at the
exactly.
posts on the subreddit. Every day someone's posting the Ortex data. Shit, there was even someone who's been posting Bloomberg data on there. So you don't, if you're just interested in getting that kind of like daily update or something like that, it's not worth
Nah,
subscribing to this stuff unless you're constantly using it to like look for plays.
no. I mean, we all cover Ortex every day, so I maybe we want to look at maybe S3 has something as well. We could take a look at. You think?
Yeah, I'll check that out too. I'll
Um,
put
I
that on my
feel
list.
can I take Dan's question?
Yeah,
He
shit, I turned the, my bad. Let me go to it.
he was just he was on Power Hour yesterday, and a lot of times I'll tell people to send me stuff and nobody ever does. I don't know what, maybe I smell bad or something. I don't know, but he actually sent me a link on Reddit, and I did watch it, and it's like the most complicated like 5 minutes of my life. It's this super smart coding analyst, and he's talking about how to game the market makers. I don't advocate that. I'm not advocating that at all, but it's interesting game theory. And it what I got from it, if I'm reading this correctly, was basically you just he was talking about if you're going to buy 100 shares, that if you put in 100 share order as opposed to 100 orders of one share, it overwhelms the queue that's sitting there trying to process all the data, and the market makers don't really have time to catch up. So in theory, yes, I think that could potentially happen, but I mean, how are you ever going to get I guess if retail just like loads into it with small orders, that could potentially happen. But I don't. You're never going to get an institution to do that because, that, again, that would be stock manipulation, and I just don't being pragmatic about it. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. So that
Yeah,
was my take. That was my take on it.
I actually saw that the comment when I was kind of working on some other
Mm.
stuff yesterday, and I had your power hour on, and I saw that comment come in, and I don't think I didn't click on the link or whatever, but I remember seeing that. So that's a pretty crazy theory, but I mean I could see how that would work. Especially with the algorithms and everything. If you just see all these little buys coming in, um,
Well, there's got to be a way to analyze an algorithm. I mean, all it is a somebody writing up a formula. So
Target short seller says, "What do you think about my comparison between the chart of FSR and Clove?" I did watch that on your last video. Not your last video, but the last video of yours that I watched. I should say that. Um, Let me see here. So Target short seller had put out a comparison of these two charts, and actually, let me go side by side. So there's Clove, there's FSR. I'll turn us to the daily.
so FSR is Fisker, electronic vehicle
So I think
company.
kind of what he was getting at on his was basically this drop down right here is very similar to what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well, they look like almost a cup and handle, sort of.
I mean these do look pretty damn similar. Um, Even dating back to way back here in like December. And with Fisker, it's like in November, so it's almost like they're a little bit ahead. That was March
Yeah,
for us. That was June. But yeah,
I,
I mean, it does look eerily similar. I'd say from about this July of last year, probably from this mark right here. Um,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say that you could find patterns in any of these stocks. We did that for months with AMC. Be like, man, we look exactly like the chart for GameStop today, but if you look at 10 other meme stocks, you look like them too.
yeah, no, I hear you. I think if you look at this view right here, it does look kind of, probably the best you could line it up, like
It,
cutting it off here and and then cutting it off back here when Clove started.
it's like
And there's a
it's like
lot of
looking at
stocks though that have this same pattern right here. This kind of gap up. This all kind of happened right in June, right there in like June 8th. I mean, there's a couple. I think Wish I was looking at the other day. I've been seeing Wish getting a lot of attention recently. Was it Wish that looked like that? Must have been something else. Um,
it's like
I'm,
staring at the clouds. I think I see a unicorn in there.
all right, let's see here.
Co-creators lighting it up in the chat. It's funny.
I know I keep getting behind in the chat. Joseph says, "Isn't it ironic? Clove is a health company. I'm getting Clove body from eating all this dip." um,
COVID
let's
19.
see. Henry Winkler committed investment fraud. It was a
Yeah, that's
Ponzi
the one I
scheme.
saw. That's the one I saw.
Oh man,
Not
that's
bad.
funny.
Not
Uh,
bad.
the battle for eight is strong. Is this like the battle for 801? Uh,
No, don't. I'm gonna have flashbacks.
uh,
That's that AMC reference for those who don't know.
all right, let me see.
There were some good memes with that. That was the good part about 801. Like like uh like you telling your kids, and it had like a cat with a helmet on that was like PTSD. I enjoyed those.
All right, so real quick, Lisa said in TRADYTICS scanny feature says Clove has MACD divergent, strong uptrend, and pivot gun. I'm gonna check it out. I still haven't. I'm gonna pull it up though. Let me see if I can get it up. And there's so much stuff on here, and when we get offline later too, I'll kind of show you, go through it a little bit more with you. But there's like so many
Hmm.
features on here. So this is called their scanny feature, and I am going to let's see if I can get this up for Clove. Um, there we go. So I just did a scan. I guess it's called a scanny on Clove, and
Can you look at different time frames, or is it just gonna give
oh,
what it
here we
wants to?
go. I got to open this up a little. So you run a scan on a stock, and it just tells you, the price, the change, 7-day change, volume, short interest to float. Oh, where's that? Where's that line up with Ortex? That says 21%, and Ortex right now is started the day with 21%. So there is a kind of updated short interest in this. It's not live, but this is as of this morning. It's showing 21, which is pretty on point with what Ortex is reporting. Um, but here we have signals: a MACD divergence, a strong uptrend, AIs agree, and a pivot gun. Um, yeah, I'll have to. I got to keep playing with. Dude, there's like so many here. I'll just show you guys this menu real quick before I pull it away. But check Tario, check this out. So you got market dashboards for stock options, crypto. You got ticker dashboards, along with an AI, live options flow, trading flow, dark flow. I started playing around with some of these complex tools,
Wow.
and dude. There's just so much in here.
I just wish anything made sense.
Yeah,
I guess that, it's like you can see. Hell, we saw cost to borrow fees at 200%, 250, 300% a few weeks ago, and the price was dropping. Like, I just want stuff to make sense again. I don't know. Is that too much to ask?
Blah blah undos in the house. What's up, man?
What?
D
Blah,
worms.
blah. So, um, Coach, I don't even know if I told you about this. We were just kind of, I was talking to Blah, Blah and Dark 4, and we're going to do a VC. We're going to do a voice channel chat on Discord tomorrow night at 8 p.m. If you guys want to tune in, I'm sure you can jump in if you want to hang out. But we're gonna get to hear from Blah Blah and Dark Four. So
Nah, I'll probably just listen, only because I'd rather let those guys do all the talking. I wanna learn something myself.
yeah,
So
me
I'll
too.
just tune in and kind of listen in, for sure. But we got to tweet that out or something too. Get everybody to kind of retweet it
Yeah,
and kind of pump that up. But
yeah,
man, I think that'd be huge. There's
yeah.
so
I told
many.
those guys they were the next celebrities up. We got Degenerate unmasked, and everybody wants to hear from the sub mods. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
and you said that's on Discord.
Yeah, it's a little channel, like a side channel on Discord, and it's at the bottom, I believe. And it's kind of like Twitter Spaces. It's just audio chat. Everybody can jump in. I think like when we used it with AMC, it was always limited to 50 people, just so it doesn't get too crazy. And I don't know, it might go a little rough the first time because you gotta mute people's microphones if you got kids banging around in the background or something. But I'm not sure exactly how it works. But it'll at least be fun to hear from those guys.
I'm just pulling this
You
up so I
see
can
it?
see. So this is my menu
Um,
right here, and as you go down to the bottom, so get down here in the
yeah.
voice chat. I'm still learning how to use Discord, guys. So uh, that's down here in the voice chat section, right?
Yep.
Voice channel. Okay, so it'll pop up down there.
Yep.
Um, Dude, Discord is I'm
Discord's
pretty
awesome.
impressed, man. I mean, I never knew what it was. I've always heard people talk about it, and I don't need another app on my phone and all this stuff. But I mean,
Yeah.
now it
I did.
makes it pretty
I did
simple to
the same
like
thing.
text message people and group chat and voice. I mean, the first time I talked to Representative Dark Four and everybody was all like through a phone call on Discord. So
Oh yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, God, I was a child of the 80s and the 90s, and we had chat rooms. I was like, another chat room? But you get in there, it's always bumping. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning, it's bumping.
Oh
And
yeah,
it just seems like a little more colorful than the mega threads. I'm a huge fan. I love Discord.
yeah. I get to what's the word I'm looking for? Like with the chats, I go in there sometimes and there's just so much going on. It's hard to follow. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And maybe that's just
Well,
me because I look away and I start doing other stuff, and then it's like, oh, where'd that message
probably.
go? But absolutely I mean, there's been a couple times I've jumped in the chats, and actually that's what inspired me to write like my first post on Reddit ever. I mean, I've been on Reddit for years, and then I finally like went in and found one of the Clove discords. This was a couple months ago, and someone on there, I'd been talking about something, and someone on there was like, "Dude, you should write that up and post it on Reddit." And I was like, "All right."
Really?
And so after being on Reddit for like 2 years and never posting anything, I finally went in and made a post. It was a couple months ago, but yeah, no,
Oh, dude,
I really enjoy it.
I had the opposite problem. As soon as I got on Reddit, I was blowing it up. And but Discord's cool too because you can slow the chat down. So if it gets too wild, the moderator or the admin or whoever can just put a time limit. You got to wait 10 seconds to send your next message. So it's pretty versatile.
So we got a couple 80s kids in the house too. Now that you said it, so it said I'm an 80s kid too. SRT born in '79, 80s in the house. I was um I'm
Represent.
I'm 1982, so I'm right there with you guys. Um, let's see.
Yeah,
Bart.
people always ask me if I'm like allergic to nuts or whatever when I'm eating something. I was like, nah, man, I was born in 1980. I'm not allergic to anything.
Yeah.
We like ate grass and drank out of the garden hose.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
Found a little extra dry powder, bringing that average down and putting a white knuckler grip on Clove. Right on, Bart. That sounds like the way to go. Um, and then Ago
They,
says Discord replaced Skype, TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, and Mumble for me. Discord is legit. Damn, you had a ton of apps. You know what I was gonna say, Ago too. I noticed that you were in the Discord yesterday. I don't know why I never put two and two together or whatever, but
yeah,
I was in there
they,
and I was like, oh shit, that's
Ego's a mod.
yeah, that's where I saw that. I was in the mod chat room. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
oh, and I went in there and then I saw the name in there. I'm like, oh wow, um,
yeah. You gotta be careful what you say. Everybody's around. Everybody's all around.
let's see, uh, Dow S&P seem to be recovering today. Shorts seem to be back. Correlation. So,
uh,
um,
it could be a dead cat for the Dow. You don't know.
I was kind of talking about this with my neighbor yesterday, but and I think that this somehow there could be some sort of correlation. Like, so if you think about it this way, with the increased margin requirements and everything that's kind of going on throughout the entire market, right? You have a big day like yesterday, where the market overall is drawing down and selling off. Let's just, you're this fund or that's short Clove, short GameStop, short AMC, but at the same time, I don't know, you're long on Disney, Apple, and Facebook. I'll just throw out some random names. Well, if you're on 10 times leverage, which I think what was Archeagos before they got liquidated. I think they were
Oh,
like 20
dude.
times or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
they were insane.
but the way leverage works, right? So if you're on 10 times leverage, let's just say, uh, in simplest terms, a stock, the market draws down 5%. So to you, that's a 50% loss, right? I mean, if all of your holdings draw down 5% and you're leveraged 10 times, that's a 50% loss at the end of the day, um, on your long positions,
Mhm.
and to me, that's why we see sometimes the inverse in, like a Clove or a GameStop or an AMC, where when all those longs are drawing down, we start seeing the opposite in these heavily shorted stocks, because as they're having to unwind their positions in the long positions because they're losing and they have to meet margin requirements, they have to cover their positions and unwind their positions on the short side too. And so it has
Exactly.
it has this inverse effect. And then, so on a green day, um, you know, put that into perspective. If the
Right.
market overall is going up, let's say 2%, 3%, and they're 10 times leverage, that's a 30% gain. And now that gives them more dry powder and more firepower to come and dump against their short position. So it does kind of offset each other. And I think we're seeing it more amplified now that the margin requirements have increased across the market. Let's see here. So we actually, Clove just looked to be kind of busting through VWAP right now. Um, and we just kind of shot out of this oversold territory about 15 minutes ago. So um, could be pretty exciting. Looks like we're still 21 cents away from kind of being green on the day. GameStop right now, for anybody listening, I haven't announced the scores in a while, so let's see what we got here. Oh, why does this thing always reset on me? Whatever. I'll do it the hard way. So GameStop is at 176.40, up 1.68%. AMC is what, 36.95, up almost 7% on the day, and also just busted through VWAP. DraftKings My newest play is at 44.96, up 60.67%. BNGO down on the day, down 1.5. AVXL down almost 5%. ATOS, for those that are following it, it's kind of stopped the bleeding a little bit, only down 1%. I mean, we've seen some like really, really heavy down days since last week. Since that high it was at 9 and now it's at $3.80. I have a feeling we might see this come down and touch 2 before reversing. Somewhere more in that range. What else are we looking at here? I think that's it. And
We're
the SPY right now is up almost 5 points.
we're running a little bit.
Yeah.
We got a couple of thick green candles there.
Let's see. Target short seller says, for me, Telegram is more clear and light to use. To be honest, all those apps are just like, I don't know what any of them do.
Well,
Discord's
yeah,
one that I.
everybody over in Europe, they use Telegram and WhatsApp. I talked to Altrades and TSS on WhatsApp. I like that feature. You can just kind of send voice messages back and forth, recorded ones.
So I just started using WhatsApp recently. We had this group text with probably like 5 or 6 guys, 7 guys, where we talk stocks and stuff and kind of give our opinions and what stocks we're looking at and that sort of thing. And this one guy on there, the only person that doesn't have an iPhone, and so it just screws the whole thing up where it starts getting annoying where people are hitting like and love and dislike, and then you see that person hit it and it just like screws. So finally someone's just like, you know what, let's just move
It's just
this
like,
to WhatsApp because it's starting to get annoying. But now we have like a whole nother app just for the chat.
really,
Um, so
yeah, it's
I
almost
already kind of
too
told
much.
him once we squeeze, I'm gonna buy him a phone. Uh,
Yeah, I
just
don't reinvent the wheel. Apple already made it.
yeah,
WhatsApp is secure though. I think that's why a lot of people like it.
it's just my neighbor. He's so damn hard headed. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
well,
He won't get the iPhone. He won't cut his damn trees down. So I have all these leaves blowing in my. I'm
yeah.
just giving him shit because he's probably listening right now. Um,
Lady Fluff is in the house. What's up, Fluffer?
Scotty
Can't
said
read.
I'm behind now, but Scotty said he definitely drank out of the garden hose. I know I
Oh,
did.
we know Scotty drank out of the garden hose.
SRT hose water is the best. We should bottle it and sell it for $3 a bottle. Um, let's
Yeah,
see.
relive your childhood with hose water.
Gingivitis says, "Have you guys addressed the downward wedge that some people have gotten excited about?" Yeah,
Yeah,
yesterday I kind of pulled it up and talked about it a little bit, but I mean, um, can it be big? Yeah, I think it can, but I also, I think any TA with a heavy manipulated stock, it can work out, and it could work out. It might, but then it also, it could be nothing. I mean, you never know. It really, I think it depends more on once these
I
shorts start covering. That's
I
my
actually
opinion.
I put it in the chat. I was typing that I personally I don't know how they found those touch points. If you'll notice that I'm not calling BS or anything. I'm just saying that that view that gentleman posted was very zoomed out. That's all I'll say about it. I've looked on so many different levels trying to find touch points for that wedge. I could not find them.
So
I
we're
don't
getting near like a breakout level, I think, of the day. 823 would be the
what's
high,
VWAP?
the intraday high of the day if we can, get past that right now.
Yeah,
Um,
VWAP's at
VWAP's at 806, and we're at right now we're trading at 816, starting to move up. Blunt's in the house. Let's see.
is that Tyson? I
Yeah, I
like
think
it.
so. Old school Mike Tyson at that. Speaking about being an 80s kid.
You know what's
Um,
funny, man? We all got things like we'll never forget. For whatever reason, I will never forget 007 5963. You know what that is? That's the
That's
code to
is that
Mike
the
Tyson's
code for
Punch
Mike
Out to
Tyson
get the
Punch
Tyson.
Out?
Yeah, yeah, it's just in my brain, man. I just can never forget it.
No, I got a couple of them like and I know this is a little bit this is more 90s, but like was it I think the blood code in Mortal Kombat back in the day was like down up
Nice,
left A right down. Is that one or
nice.
is that a different?
That's Contra. That's Contra,
Oh, was
man.
that Contra? That was Contra.
Yeah, up down, left right, BA start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Um
Do, 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 do. Yeah, I always used to tease my best friend. He's a little bigger. I always used to say he was the fat guy on the bike while we were like doing exercising and stuff for Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Like, go get your tracksuit, man.
Sudeep says August calls are looking good on Clove, but I'm afraid they won't let the price go up to get those call options and the money. If they're manipulating the stock price, they can do anything. Thoughts? Well, I think I just talked about this a little while ago, but I think you know, it kind of benefits us that the max pain for each week looks like it's climbing upwards, but then we also have like further out these options loaded up where I think we could see somewhat of a gamma ramp, and it's two different enemies when it starts coming to the option chain, right? You have short sellers who just don't want the stock to go up at all, and then you have market makers who want to try to pin the price to a specific price. So um having the max pain actually moving up over the next couple weeks would almost like make market makers on our side, as opposed to hedge funds, I guess, if you can think about it in that way, because all they really want to do is get the price up to that, pin it at that certain point, which ends up being higher. um there we go, left right up down.
Hmm.
uh
I had it. I had it. Just like our stock. Yeah. Sideways.
Dev says, I wish Clove put out more positive news. Honestly, lately we've been seeing a lot of news, but I guess it's not necessarily from Clove, but it seems like they have been a little bit more active.
Yeah. What that we had the grocery benefits and the thing in Atlanta, um, partnering with an evangelist, whatever that word is, and evangelists, and I think I might actually go to that event in Atlanta. It's like 4 hours for me, but I was thinking about calling that reverend up and seeing if I could like maybe they're having a barbecue or something. I can go get some food and talk to people.
Is that pretty close for you?
4 hours,
Oh, that's not bad at all.
not terrible.
Um, yeah,
Maybe go
that's
catch a Braves game while I'm down there.
yeah. Hey, so I got a question for you, just because I know you've been using Webull too and kind of getting familiar with it. Do you ever click on this pivot point?
No.
I was playing around with it yesterday, and basically it looks like it's like here, I'm gonna bring
Where?
this over. I'm gonna bring this over to my, just so we can
So
see it a little bit bigger. But basically what it is, it's built into the
where'd you get
software
that?
already,
First of all,
and so it's like automated support and resistance levels.
yeah, okay.
Um,
When I was in the MVIS subreddit, there was a guy on there, T Dalo. He would post pivot points every morning.
oh, I'm on FSR still. I was like, why does this chart look so much different than what I just pulled away from with Clove? There we go. So like if you look at it, we just broke through kind of like this major line, which actually happens to be with VWAP, and it's saying that the next
Hmm.
next point's going to be at 856 and then
Right.
at 883. So I mean, I haven't played around with it, but I just noticed it yesterday, and it does
That's
kind of seem
awesome.
like if you look at it, like zoom out, you could see that you kind of hit resistance near this point. If we're trading above
Oh,
here.
dude, that T Dalo guy, other than living it, might be the smartest guy I've ever come across, and he swore by those pivot points.
Hmm.
And so, if he does, I do. But how'd you get that up on your bar?
It was so when you're in here in Webull, it's one of the options. If you don't see it in your top right here, you know where you see your technicals like MA, Bollinger Bands, MACD, all that kind
Oh,
of stuff.
it's an indicator. Okay, you just got
Yeah,
to add
it's
it in indicators. I
yeah.
got
So
it.
just
Okay,
go to all, and it should be down there at the bottom, pivot point. Um,
gotcha. Okay,
it's
yeah, I
kind of
got it.
like
Cool.
a way to cheat without having to go in and draw your own support and resistance levels, I guess.
Sounds
Um,
good to me. You shouldn't have told anybody the secret. They'll think we're smart. But the TSS was just asking if we could pull up the chart and do some TA. You want to look at it?
actually, you know what? Let's if we want to wait, maybe let's give me like another 15 minutes and then we could switch over to your stream because
Okay.
I can already hear my kids arguing with each other right now. So,
All
um
right.
you know how they get when they get hungry. Um
I don't know why that's so funny to me. You just kept saying it, and I was like, here it comes. You're like, I gotta make my kids breakfast, and I just like it. Just like I don't know. It's just one of those things I thought was funny.
yeah. Uh blah blah
I
said,
probably
"What
say
else
the
do you
same
want? A
stupid
date
thing
with
every day
Vivek?"
too. Oh, blah blah.
But yeah, no, it looks like GME's getting ready to or it did break the high, got to the high of the day. We got to the high of the day. Um really right at the same time.
I'll be
Um
right back.
on this last candle, we it looks like both GameStop and Clove just hit their high of the day recently. Um and the S&P 500 is ripping right now too. Let me see if I can pull that up. So the market is definitely overall trending upwards. Um, DraftKings pretty strong. Anyone who's joining a little late, I know I talked about DraftKings waiting for it to dip down and touch 41, but I think at this point we are kind of looking at a trend reversal here. At least I want to try to get in on it now as opposed to later. So just looking at the daily chart, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong and this thing could be ready to dip back down. I was looking at, potentially touching down here at 41. And if it fell through that resistance, buying in down here at 35. But um, we are already kind of exiting that oversold territory, bouncing back up. MACD hasn't crossed over yet, but I bought a little bit yesterday and a little bit more today. I'm going long DraftKings right now. Um, Pretty much, I think I went with the $65 strike for February, trying to price in football season basically, and two earnings reports that are upcoming, August and November, and a little bit, I guess, of the run up to the February earnings. So that's the play. I just wanted to go over that real quick because I know I do have it in the title of this video that D King as well. TSS says Wish is running right now. Let's see. I think I even brought that up this morning too. Like Wish was one I wanted to start looking into because I don't know anything about it. Um, and I don't know, but I've been seeing a lot of posts and comments about it. That maybe it's possibly ready to make another move. I know it had jumped from what 6 to 14 recently, and it was as high as 37. It looks like. Have you followed that at all, Tarheel? The whole Wish.
I followed their business model as much as I would like to follow it. I'm trying to be nice here, but
I
the
don't know a thing about it, at all. It's just I keep
they
seeing it pop up.
it's like the dollar store of Amazon. They sell knockoff products.
Got you.
Yeah, but I pulled up their Ortex. I don't see anything that jumps out at me. Like cost to borrow is low, days to cover is low, um, percentage free float on loan is low. Just as far as Ortex goes, it doesn't look like who can tell with Ortex anymore, but it doesn't look like a squeeze play. at
Yeah.
least just
No,
from
I don't
initial.
know anything about it other than it keeps I keep seeing it mentioned, whether it's in the chat here, when I'm on Twitter, when I'm on Reddit. Like I feel like there's all this hype around Wish, and but I haven't
Oh,
taken the time to look at it. Um, Fluffer
his
says, "How
kids
old are your kids?" I taught mine to
nine,
cook.
9 and 7, 9 and 7, two boys.
It's cool, Bobby. Come here. Let me just pause this, or not pause it, but mute it.
Can you guys hear me still? Yeah. So his kids are 9 and 7, and they're good kids. That's why he makes them breakfast all day, every day. I'm just gonna talk smack about Coach until he gets back on here. I'm trying to read the comments. I'm not gonna read that, Zed, but that's hilarious. I can't bring up certain individuals anymore. I've just chosen not to. So
Sorry.
that's good, man. You put them in line. They
Let's
get
see.
mad at you because they want some bacon.
Yep. 10 to 15 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to look at
You
this
know
real
what? The
quick.
other thing I was thinking is, again, I think we were talking about this the other day, but I think the Reddit community, the Wall Street Bets community, they just like things that are easily digestible that they can understand. Clover Health is, you're not going to understand it unless you sit on streams with some YouTubers, or like do some DD yourself, or like really pour into it to figure out what's going on. But you can look at Wish and understand their business model in 2 minutes.
Yep, absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I'm just like scanning through the chat because I feel like we got so far behind, but it's a bunch of talk about Wish, and I just kind of feel
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just pointed it out. But Target short sellers, it says to check out the dark pool data. Hey TSS, just while you're here, can you let me know where you get dark pool data at? Because I know like me and Tarheel, or maybe even if you want to message me offline, but we've been looking for like what's the
Yeah.
best source for it, and it seems like there's so much different data coming out everywhere. Um, all right, sorry, I kind
That's
of
interesting.
got sidetracked.
Maybe this is a dumb question. I'm sure this is a stupid question, but what do Zed said? Europe has an extra toll for people in over there, but is Amazon? I'm sure Amazon's over there, right? Like, what's your Amazon in Europe? Is it just, do they have like a pretty good setup over there logistically? I don't even know.
Yeah, someone. So who was I remember reading something about. I know Amazon is global, right? Because I've seen something about like deliveries being done
Right.
by drones and things like that, like in other countries, and um,
Yeah. You know what a cool company is? Have you looked at Coupang?
I believe I've heard about it. It's like a coupon, but it's
Coupang.
COUPANG. Is that what it says?
Yeah, but from what I understand about it, it's in South Korea, and they do Amazon like on steroids. They, like, you order something, it'll be on your doorstep in like an hour. But they can actually pull that off in South Korea because the population is so dense that it just makes sense and it works. But they're gonna have trouble expanding into other countries. But I would buy Coupang before I bought Wish.
GameStop has same day delivery right now too, right? I don't know about getting it within an hour, but um, and that's what I'm interested to see too. Like, are they just delivering straight out of their brick and mortar retail locations? And you know what I mean? Like, is that going to be in their future business model to use those as little shipping hubs, kind of like you see like a UPS or FedEx is kind of in every city.
Wish?
No, GameStop.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they you can go on there right now and order stuff. It'll be
I
at your
don't,
door same
I
day.
don't think, I don't think that would make sense, would it? For the to have each brick and mortar location be like a shipping hub.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends what they get into. I don't, you know what I mean? I know they're starting to carry toys and all kinds of other stuff, and it seems like they're expanding like what they're offering in their thing. But yeah, it seems like that would be kind of expensive. but they're getting away with same day delivery right now, which seems to be absolutely insane.
That's
Like I bought
crazy.
my kids some headsets for the PS4 probably about 4 months ago now, and it was same day, like within 2 or 3 hours.
I was just gonna ask you: is that for all their products that they're able to pull that off with, or just their games, or what?
uh, I don't know. I'm gonna go try to order something right now. Let's see.
Um, yeah, you look at that. I'm gonna. I saw I saw one. Skip, what's up, Skip? Say, what other companies would you compare Clover Health with from a future price standpoint? Looking at health stocks, Humana is more comparable to us than United, I believe. I've got to go back and look at Livenet's messages that he sent me. It's hard to compare because most of those bigger companies are not only in Medicare and Medicaid, but they're also in residential and commercial lines. But I'm going to link this post in the chat that he had that compared us to Alignment Healthcare, Oak Street, and a couple other ones. If you want to take a look at it, I just dropped that in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna try to see if I could find a something that was same day delivery, but it looks like it says it's out of stock. So um, every PS4 controller I clicked on so far says it's out of stock for same day delivery. So maybe that's got to come out of a shipping hub. Never mind on that. But I know last time I ordered them, it came same day. It was crazy.
But you
Um,
know what you were saying like last week, I don't remember when it was. Whatever they do is just going to be so wildly popular as long as they do a good job in pulling it off. And I think they have the CEO in place to do it. I just think they have the world is their oyster right now.
all right, so we might see. I know we've talked about this before about when some of these other stocks start popping. It kind of works out well for all of the heavily shorted stocks. And we are seeing AMC and GameStop kind of hitting some pretty high levels right now. Like GameStop has been getting rejected hard at 180 recently. It seems like finding. I think if we can see a breakthrough right here, that might yeah, it's starting to move.
You're seeing the same green candles on our charts as you are GameStop.
Yeah.
Looks like the same chart. Everything's running right now. But yeah, you're right. 180's been a resistance level. You want to? What are the
So
pivot points saying
yeah,
for game?
it just popped through it. So that was kind of that 179 was a huge resistance level. And it just popped through. It looks like the next one is 186 and then 194. See, now I may end up staying in
Yeah, so you're looking
seeing
at you're
Webull
looking
because
at the pivot points.
yeah, I just
I like that. I like that a lot.
yeah, you just kind of toggle them on and you could see kind of where they're at. See, now I may stay in Webull just because I got the pivot point feature. I know Thinkorswim has a ton of stuff in there though. I just um I haven't had the time to really get switched over to it. Um,
But basically, like I'm looking at closed pivot points right now, and like all you got to do is add 30 cents to keep adding 30 cents all the way up, and you got pivot point after pivot point after pivot point. I don't know.
yeah, I'd love to see a GameStop breakout. I've been desperately wanting one and needing one since that 340 run.
Yeah, you had 250 calls, didn't you?
Oh my god. I
That's
forget when they I think they expired on what was the big expiration date? June 18th or something, and that run up was like
monthly.
in early June. So yeah, those 250 calls with still 2 weeks of time premium and the way that the IV was looking, I mean, they were worth thousands of dollars each. And I diamond
Hmm.
handed them straight into to not
So
they
it's
let them burn up. Fire
you
handed them.
only you only lose money when you sell, but you don't make money if you don't sell either.
Yep. That was a big mistake right there. But I mean, at the time, I was thinking, okay, 250. The price was trading at 350. I'm $100 in the money. If I let these go into expiration,
Yeah.
and even if we're trading at 300, I'm still $50 of intrinsic value. It would still, but shit, I mean, it got pushed down from 350 back down to like 180 before expiration. In
Hmm.
basically in 2 weeks, and they just disintegrated on me. Fluffer says one thing that I'm still just so confused about on Clove is how the borrow rate fee has come down so much. Is that just flat out paper hands? No, so the borrow fee is supposed to be set on based on supply and demand, but it's up to the individual lender or broker that's lending out shares. So,
Right.
Interactive Brokers right now is charging, um, what are they at today? They're charging 1.6%, which is probably pretty common, right? For standard, if you look up like most blue chip stocks and things like that. And then if we look at Ortex is tracking multiple lender brokers, 0.5% on the low, 3.3% on the high, average of 1.7. So, but it's supposed to be based on supply and demand, but each broker can charge whatever they want. Like right now, if
Right.
there's one broker that's like almost out of shares to loan, and they feel that the demand is high, they could say, you know what, we're going to charge 200% for these shares. It just
And,
depends on the individual broker.
and to be more a little more specific about that, you got to take a look at shares on loan and utilization. So you got to see how many shares are actually available, and if all those shares are being lended out, then that is the supply and demand coach is talking about.
And so right now, our utilization, and I didn't know this even with Ortex. So the utilization is actually gets updated live throughout the day, right?
Hmm.
Where all this other data up here seems as if it stays, whatever you see up here right now isn't going to change until
Yeah.
tomorrow morning. But the
Oh,
utilization I've noticed does change throughout the day.
oh, I don't think I knew that either. I mean,
Yeah,
that would
like
make sense though because iBorrow and Fintel are populating shares on loan are available to borrow at all times throughout the day, so utilization should be able to be updated as well.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen this number change, but then all the other updates are down here. So like right now, short interest is going to go up if things were to hold to 9.4%. Um,
Why wouldn't they be able to change shares on loan though if they can change utilization? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless I'm wrong in this utilization, it doesn't update. It's 83.04 right now. So
All right.
we'll check on it later and see where it's at.
Did what happened with Blue Origin? Did you pay attention to it yet? Did it go up?
I did not. But earlier when you were trying to sign on and stuff, someone had said in the chat that it was successful. But apparently Jeff Bezos didn't bring a camera into the space shuttle with him. So is at least what I gathered from everybody kind of talking shit in the chat was like, you got all this money, you're spending millions of dollars to go to space, and you can't bring a damn camera with you. I think somebody said that, but so it sounds like it was successful. I haven't watched it. I don't want to turn anything else on in here that's gonna potentially slow down my computer or cause me to crash.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Branson, I didn't listen to his speech, but I heard it was pretty cringy. It was a little awkward. Maybe Bezos just doesn't want to deal with it. He don't want to say anything on camera.
oh
Get made
yeah, yeah,
get made fun of.
makes sense. Let me see here. So Fluffer says, with the being so low now, does that mean no squeeze now or a lot less likely? No, I mean, there's still a ton of short interest in the stock, and I think as the stock reverses and starts to move upwards, it's just going to put pressure on the short sellers, and then eventually, really like Tarheel said, the utilization will go up
Well,
too.
let me give if you don't mind, let me give a specific example of why that might not make sense. Number one, I made a video comparing GameStop and AMC's run ups, and their short percentage of free float was like way low, and their cost to borrow was AMC's cost was pretty low too, if I'm remembering correctly. But let me draw a scenario out for you. So a lot of times market makers will push the price down because they don't have any supply, that they're in illiquid territory, so they need to go grab a bunch of shares, right? So once they've done that, then they might not feel the need to go and buy any more shares. So even on a low volume day, you could see the market swayed in an upward trend, and that cost to borrow, even if there's low volume, that cost to borrow could stay low. Um, and so the shorts get squeezed out on low volume days. It doesn't matter what the cost to borrow is, right? If the volume's low, the price is rising, then they're getting screwed either way.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the other thing I think too is, I mean, and I don't know where we could figure out this information, but I would imagine that with the price sitting at $8 right now, we're not no shorts are really hurting. Yeah, if that makes sense. I would imagine that most either started shorting this thing, I'm going way back now to like at $11, kind of in this $10 range. If anything, most of them might have covered on the way up here, and then we got continued to get shorted down from like the $20 mark. You know, obviously a lot more shorting when we came in here at 14, and maybe more piled on here at 11, 10, 9. So sitting at 8
uh,
right now, I think we do need some kind of upward movement to kind of force them out, right?
I tend to agree with you. I will provide another kind of the sort of the counter positioning to that. Degenerate actually sent me a message last night on Twitter, and he said they shorted the bottom. And shorts, I'm not sure if I can read all this. It gets pretty wild. But yeah, he's pretty sure that, I'm not gonna name any names, but there were some short and distort firms that had their clients short the bottom of it. He was digging into.
What, like around 6?
Yeah, yeah. He didn't mention a number. He just said, um, he said short. He said they shorted the bottom. Shorts want the world to burn, and a lot of them got mega effed when rates got cut.
Okay. Well,
I
that
don't
could
know what
be
rates.
interesting then. I mean, at that point, then they are bleeding out. But you know what I mean? It's just I do think this upward, like yesterday being green. If we can get another green day, maybe 2 green days in here, obviously the higher the stock goes, the more pressure it'll kind of put on. Um,
Mm,
D Worm says Bezos soiled himself. Um, Let me see here. I just Oh, JF with the super sticker, right on. Um, See, how does it? I'm almost positive that it's not supposed to say pair character lifting some weights saying keep it up. You know what I mean? It's supposed to show the image,
yeah,
but I think it's
yeah.
my software that's kind of, I'm pretty positive on the YouTube side. It probably looks like the
It's
actual super sticker, right?
hold on. I can look in the chat. I got YouTube pulled up. Let me see.
But
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah. It look.
JF. I appreciate the super sticker or super. I got to learn the difference between the two. I know
Coach,
one.
it's a animated pair lifting weights with a
Yeah, and
headband
then the
on.
one that SRT did earlier was kind of like a pair too or something. It said a pair doing something, but so maybe it's just this software. I got to figure out how to get the emojis built into it. I'll figure that out. Now I got another problem to figure out.
Yeah, I know, right?
So if we keep getting the super stickers, I'll have to figure out how to change that up.
That's
Um,
funny. I think that might be a new thing. The super stickers. I like them. Maybe they have a carpet one for me. Who knows?
Oh, well, there's a way you could do custom emojis too. Like if I put an emoji in there, I could actually like so people could use. What would be some good custom emojis for my chat?
Uh,
Anyone want to throw out any ideas? I'd like, for instance, I know I remember back in January, like Uncle Bruce had like bagels on his. I don't know if did you ever check out Uncle Bruce?
um, I did for a little bit, but I've got my own feelings on it. We'll just say I preferred other people, and he was kind of talking some shit about AMC at the time. So
Yeah, I mean, he was. I don't know. I think he was just kind of speaking his mind in terms of.
Yeah,
But I agree with you. I
yeah.
mean, I think people were hating on him because he was saying AMC wasn't a good buy. You know, like fundamentally or whatever
It
it may
just
have
seemed
been.
it seemed a little it seemed a little biased at the time. That's all we took it as.
Yeah,
And if you crossed AMC in any way, you were gonna get dogged. So
yeah. But
kind
I
of
used
like
to enjoy
how it
listening
still.
to him just because
Oh
he had some pretty good insight from like
yeah,
like
yeah,
his experience in the market. But what kind of sucked about it was he wasn't watching anything. So like he just had his phone in front of him and he's just
right.
watching the ticker. So you were literally just talking about his experience in the stock market years ago. Um, Degenerate is so dang passionate. I love it. I'm scared for that Emily chick. Uh,
Did
oh, White
he?
Claw emoji. Hold on, I gotta write these down now.
I
Skip
know,
says,
I
"Mr.
know.
Clean, I like it." Um, co-creator
I'm gonna
says a
say
White Claw emoji.
in the theme of Mike Tyson's Punch Out, we could do a bald bull.
Ooh, that would be a good one too. Ego says a whistle. All right, I'm gonna write these down because I'm gonna figure out how to do custom emojis. Um, Ooh, blah blah. Okay,
All
coach.
right.
We have some mods in our club that does animation stuff. Yeah, so if I can get a couple, I gotta figure that out
Yeah.
to put some custom emojis in the chat. That would be dope,
All right.
especially a
You
white
got to give
claw
me one. You
emoji.
got to give me one. I was gonna say you got to give me one of those. I, I'll take. We can share the white claw emoji. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
All right, I'm writing all these downs right now.
Yeah. Ugly carpet emoji. I knew that one was coming. I beat you to it.
Yeah, the red carpet. It could be kind of like a flying carpet at that. Make it like a red one.
Dude, my Boondock, my buddy, but when I started doing this, he's like, you have to go upstairs in your game room and stream from up there. I'm like, I don't think I can anymore. It's like too normal.
Oh, you have a like a game room upstairs in your house.
Yeah, I got like a pool table and like a cool setup up there. It looks like kind of a bar area. And he's like, oh man, Stocktails would be cool up there. And I was like, yeah, I'll figure that out once I get some more people. But I don't think I can do it now.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I'd eventually like I was talking to my neighbor yesterday about it, like, kind of doing something. But again, right now I have this room. That's all I have. But down the road, it would be kind of cool to set something up where like actually have someone like come sit in here in person, like maybe you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and kind of talk in that nature. Or once I go out to North Carolina, um,
Yeah.
we sit at the bar and talk in your game
Dude,
room or something along
I
those lines.
mean, listen, you tell me you come tomorrow, we'll go. But we stream from the beach house, man. That'd be fun. Just stare at the ocean and do a stream, have a couple drinks.
Ocean, Tar Heels Ocean View or something like that. You got to
Yeah.
come up with a catchy name for it.
Yep.
Um,
Well, I will be there during the winter, like a lot. So I'll definitely be streaming from the beach. But yeah, man, bring the fam, or if you don't want me to say that so they can hear, I can just say they're not invited, and you can just if you,
SRT says a mind the gap emoji. All right. Yeah, that's cool. See, I gotta look. Well, I guess maybe later when we go on, I want to see what it's like on the other end. Because, like I said, I'm in a different. I wish you guys could see what I see. It's like a different. I don't see the YouTube chat feature, so I don't even know like with the super stickers, like how they work or how you do it, any of that stuff on that end. So I
yeah,
gotta play around with it and check it out.
you
But
you
I do.
can't see it on Ecamm on my side. You got to see it. I've got the YouTube chat pulled up as well. That's what I don't like about Ecamm. I can't talk to the chat on my screen. I gotta have another browser and I gotta mute the YouTube channel.
Got it. Yeah, maybe I wonder if you know what? I'm just gonna try. Watch. I'm gonna start clicking
Oh
on
wait,
shit.
can I do a movie quote real quick?
Yeah.
Trenton Elliott says, he goes, "Where in Jamaica? Right near the beach, boy." Did I get that right? You know what movie that's from?
Ah, I'm just gonna go ahead and guess.
Everybody in the chat's got a guess too. Right near the beach, boy.
Is that Cool
See ya.
Runnings? I'm just that's just a blind guess. I have no idea. I'm sure I'm gonna know it
No,
once you tell me though.
no, no. Dude,
What?
I am a movie quoter. I got that right away.
Usually I am too.
Oh yeah.
What movie is it though?
Yeah, man, I be from Jamaica. Where in Jamaica? It's from Half Baked.
Ah, yes.
I want to talk to Samson.
Yeah.
Climbing to the moon like a bit Alice Crampton.
All
Having
right, so
sex with my mama.
now I
All right, I'm
got
done.
this up. Look, so I did a little pop out chat of this chat, and now I can actually see. Um,
Damn. If
but
I
I
wasn't from
can't.
Jamaica.
Okay, so look, so now I see the little super chat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what did I do to it though?
If I wasn't from Jamaica, why would I be wearing this hat? Shit. You guys are funny. How,
I can't see the
how'd
one
you
that
get that on
SRT
there?
did. So I went into my YouTube and did a and just did like a pop out. I
Oh,
did
pop
pop
out?
out. But the problem is, so like not really problem, but if I want to like let's say add something to the screen now, I can't.
Yeah, I had to do pop out with OBS. I don't ever want to relive that period of my life again.
I mean, it'd be cool to keep it up here just to see like what the custom emojis look like and how to add them
Yeah.
in, and so I'm gonna start playing with it. But yeah, ultimately I got to figure out there's got to be a way in this Ecamm software where I could like put that stuff up on the screen, to be able to see, um, to do it that way. You know what I mean?
I
Where
would
I
hope
could put
I would hope so.
I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing around with it. I'll look into that later. Um,
Maybe we can figure out my audio first before we
yeah. Oh shit.
I got my fingers crossed
Well,
for
your
my
audio
side.
always sounds good. It's just it seems like when you come on to when we do it because I had the same problem. Remember, if I was going on your stream, I was having an issue with my mic. I think
I
when
thought
we
that
were
was only when you're on your laptop.
could be. All right. Damn. So GameStop's continuing to move.
Yeah, I saw that.
AMC's almost up 10%. Not looking
Damn.
bad with Clove though either. We're still down on the day, but we're trending upwards. So I think that's let's see. Someone
It's
just
just so
said
funny.
BNGO is trying to crack 6. D Worm says, "Yeah, I'm waiting for that BNGO breakout to come. They just, nothing but positive news, and it's trending downwards. So very similar to Clove right now. Um,
XM's at 37.
yeah. So you're telling me definitely don't subscribe to that other one.
Might be what I'm saying.
Well, my whole thing with that was just to see the dark pool data, but even when I compared the trades that I was looking at, it
Yeah.
seemed like as I was pulling up, and I'll compare these later when we jump offline, but like TRADYTICS, showed like 15 dark pool trades for yesterday, and then that other software showed like one. And the whole reason I wanted to look into it was to kind of get that dark pool
Right.
information. And yeah, it doesn't really seem like it's worth it. I mean, just having the dark pool information on this trading ticks is cool enough. And then the options information is what really got me kind of, being able to pull that stuff up so quickly. So I think I'm going to stick with this trading ticks one
Yeah,
after
and
the
it's
six trials though.
it's a it's a fifth of the price too. So
Yeah, no shit.
I
Um,
mean,
All right. Well, hey, in a minute here, we're gonna have to switch over to Tar Heel. So we're gonna switch the stream over, and I want to make sure first before we do, or what time do you want to do it?
um, yeah, I mean, I'm good whenever.
All right. So maybe what we'll do, so there's no
You can
no
take
dead time right now. I'll post so I can't talk right now. I will post your link in the chat, and I know it's in the description down below too. But do
Hmm.
you want to sign off and go get your stream set up? And once you have it set up, Discord me the link to the actual stream, and I'll post it here.
Yeah. All
And
right.
that
I just
way,
want to. You want to hop on real quick on a separate one and test the audio as well.
well then we might end up. I don't want to end this stream. Like, you get what I'm saying? We'll just
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
like do it over.
Okay.
So if you jump off, go set your stream up and shoot
All
me the
right.
link in Discord, and then I'll post it here. And then I'm gonna go, and then I'll go. I might take a little, like maybe 10-15 minutes before I hop in
Yeah.
yours too.
All right.
So
No problem. I'm gonna try this microphone though, because I've been having it's been fine on my side. It's just when I log into yours. So I'm gonna try it, and if there's a problem, I'll just unhook it.
okay,
All
cool.
right. Cool. Later.
Later. All right, so yeah, so I'll keep this going until Tarheel kind of gets his set up over there, and then I'll post that link, and we can kind of transition over there. We're gonna try to do this bell to bell today. Just looking around real quick before we move over. So GameStop is absolutely ripping right now. It looks like it's trying to break through this second pivot point. Um, if it can get above 185 ish, we should see it maybe start climbing and try to test 193 today. That would be awesome. I don't even know what the pivot points are with this AMC. Looks like it's right there at that next pivot point right now. Um, DraftKings. Still has some room to go. Um, but also up on the day, up 1.5%. And CLOV, we're trending upwards. You know, we're trading above VWAP. That's strong. RSI is right around 50 right now. Maybe in a cool down, a little bit of a cool down mode after getting up to what 60. I don't even think we would cool down from here. Hopefully, we get this bounce off VWAP and continue to move up. The S&P 500 is trending up, so the entire market is kind of all pulling back off yesterday's sell-off. ATOS still kind of trending downwards. Again, if you joined late, I was talking about ATOS maybe jumping into that play again, but I'm waiting for it to get down closer to maybe like 275, or at least show a strong reversal before getting in. And right now it's trading at 380, and there's no way of knowing like where the bottom's going to be, right? So um, kind of going to keep an eye on that one over the next couple weeks or months and just see where it goes from here. All right. Um, okay. Any other questions before we sign off? I'll try to what is this? Oh, the chat room. Sorry. Okay. We'll take a look at the options chain on Clove real quick, and then we'll also pull up Ortex data one more time before we sign off here. But so Ortex again came in today. We were looking at shares on loan at 37 million being reported, and it looks like we still are at a net differential of more shares borrowed. So 3.5 million returned today versus 6 million, 5.95 borrowed. So 2.3 difference, 6% short interest. Um, Cost to borrow still pretty low. We just went over that a second ago, and utilization still at 83.04. So maybe that doesn't update throughout the day. iBorrow Desk is reporting that some more shares have been returned as well. So we were looking at 3.2 million earlier, and now it's at 4.2 million. Pull this over. D Worm says ATOS is killing me. Hell, they all are. Yeah. So with ATOS, I don't know. Again, I don't know how low it can go. Like, obviously those options I have are gone. So I don't even have a position right now. But here, well, let's even look at these pivot points. I mean, I don't know how accurate that is. It says 330 is a resistance level, but then it looked like last week it was showing a resistance level at 123. So I don't know, maybe that must be more of an intraday type of thing. Um, but I could really kind of see this maybe getting back to this consolidation level down here, where it consolidated last time, which would be somewhere around this $2, maybe 280 level. And, what I'd like to see at this point is for it to come down, maybe touch off that level and start reversing before jumping back in. Because then at that point, I mean, it can come down and even try to consolidate down here at this 140 level, So definitely a play that I want to get back into because I do think that it has a ton of upside. I mean, that's why we saw this big rip. But, just like how CLOV is right now, and losing this level here, dipping below this old support level. Now I don't know where the bottom's gonna be. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on it. And definitely once I see a reversal in this, it's something I'll be looking to get into. So it looks like Tar Heel is up. Let me see. Let me see if I can get Tar Heels. Where's my Discord at? I told him to message me on Discord. Let me see if he did. Oh, I guess I could just pull up his link though. Let's see. So YouTube. Okay. And there we go. So here's the link to Tar Heel stream. And I'm gonna be joining him. So I'll be jumping on his stream right now. If you want to head over there, I'm gonna shut this stream down, and we're gonna continue to go over to that side. Try to answer any questions that I didn't get a chance to get to over there, and we'll just kind of keep it rolling. So if you're still in here right now, I just posted the link, and I am going to shut this stream down and then head over to Tar Heel's channel for the rest of the day. Once again, thank you for joining me on this side. Hit the like button if you get a chance, and then I'm going to go ahead and shut this down now. Thank you for watching. The link is right there at the bottom. If not, you go onto his channel. It should pop up right there on his as well. And then I'll also tweet it out for anyone that follows me on Twitter. But yeah, let's keep this going throughout the day and see if we can keep this upward momentum going. Looks like Clove just broke through VWAP, so hopefully we can hold 8. All right. Again, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Please go check out Tar Heel stream. We're going to jump on there right now. Link is right here in the chat room. All right. Talk to you guys later. See you tomorrow morning.